Here's a visual you're probably used to seeing during an election, the daily campaign event. One veteran campaign organizer for the Liberals summed it up like this: campaign events are the lifeblood of an election. Whether it's a speech, a rally, a photo op, or a barbecue, parties are trying to create a visual message that media will pick up on and that voters will remember.
So the first thing, the thing above all else, what is the image? What is the headline?
So if parties want their message to stand out, why do we keep seeing versions of the same thing over and over?
Tour is hard. It's hard to organize. It's hard to get everything in place sometimes. All the things that we see, it's because they're easy. You have the control over every factor that you need to control.
This is Jason Leader. He managed the war room for the Conservative Party during the 2011 campaign. He and other strategists will tell you that one single moment can throw off an entire day's message or worse. Remember this? Stockwell Day's arrival at a Canadian Alliance event on a jet ski? Here's a refresher. It was 2000, and the party was trying to send a message that the holiday was over for Jean Chrétien's Liberals. But the story quickly became about that jet ski instead, and they lost control of their message. Today, strategists need to put a lot of thought into the message visuals in particular send. They think of it like theater. They're setting a scene. Some literally call it political stagecraft. Advanced personnel will scout the location days in advance. They're figuring out things like where to place the media to get the best camera angles for the leader.
They're looking to essentially choose pictures deliberately that will convey their message in an instant, and often convey their message even when the sound is off.
Kathleen Monk is a strategist who's worked on federal election campaigns for the NDP.
Strategists are always looking to own the photo op. They're looking to own the optics of the day, and they do that in a number of ways.
That means everything you see is there to serve the message, from the location to the podium to props and the backdrop. Do you see a kind of formula?
Definitely a really significant risk of just following the same formula all the time is that every politician is doing the same thing, every leader is doing the same thing.
This is Alex Marland. He's a political scientist who's written and edited a stack of books on messaging.
And quite frankly, it's not really newsworthy. It's not interesting, it's boring.
Marland says you should pay attention to the backdrop. Take flags, for example. They've been a go-to for a long time.
A good way to look prime ministerial is to have a very large Canadian flag draped behind the leader. Believe it or not, they even have wire hidden within the flag to make it stand out straight so that it's not wilting.
And the human backdrop, well, that's a recent trend. The theory there is that showing a leader with people creates the impression that they've got supporters.
But I have to say, in 2015, I got really tired of that look. It fails to differentiate between each party. If every party is standing in front of a wall of humans, what's different between each of those parties?
It can be risky too, though, because organizers don't want to put someone in the background who could derail the message.
So that's a really big problem for you. So that's why people are so risk averse during a campaign. The stakes are so high, you can't recover from some mistakes.
All three parties made their game.
In addition to the campaign announcement or the speech, there's usually a planned event, otherwise known as the photo op. The goal is to have the leader doing something that really reinforces the policy drop or a key message, and then on top of it, seem relatable doing it. Richard Nixon's administration was reportedly the first to coin the term photo op.
So photo ops, or often in academia they're known as pseudo events. They're essentially fake events. The only reason they're created is to try to get media attention, for example.
Like other events, they're highly staged too. And this is maybe Canada's best known example of what happens when they're not. Robert Stanfield's infamous fumble during the 1974 election. It was an unplanned photo op. The progressive conservative leader was tossing around a football while his plane stopped to refuel. People don't remember he caught the first few passes because this is the image that made the cover of the Globe and Mail.
Because his campaign was faltering, the one where he dropped it, and he just looked so weak when he dropped that football, said everything you needed to know about that campaign.
So what are the rules? There's definitely no photo op handbook, but strategists do have kind of a set of do's and don'ts. For some, playing a sport is off the table. Others say don't wear hats or don't go to a place where you might have to put one on. Some point to this photo of Gilles Duceppe wearing a hairnet while touring a cheese factory. Sometimes though, like when it comes to safety, it's kind of unavoidable. As for food,
you'll very rarely see a politician eating.
And props can seem like a good idea, until they're not. There are times when they can work, like in the case of Jack Layton's cane, except of course that was unplanned.
As he started to kind of raise the cane and show that he was a real fighter, that he had beaten back cancer and that he was running the campaign, that cane almost became a symbol.
That said, strategists say thinking critically about a leader's wardrobe is also key. How much risk parties take is often guided by the type of campaign they're trying to run.
If you're leading and it looks like you're going to win, you take a lot fewer risks than if you're, sort of swinging from the fences.
Strategists say this is why incumbents often have really tightly controlled leader events. What they're trying to do is avoid opportunities for missteps. Former Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau did it in 1980, same with Stephen Harper in 2011, and it paid off. The Conservatives won a majority, but it doesn't always work.
What it does is it really creates an opening for populists, because populists forget all those norms. A populist will walk through a crowd and just have conversations that are unscripted.
Think challengers like Justin Trudeau in 2015 and Jack Layton in 2011. They had less to lose. Ultimately, strategists will tell you the key is making sure the event represents the leader's personality and that it strikes the right tone. When it comes to the campaign, try watching with the volume off. What images are you seeing? Look for what's on the stage and who the leaders are pictured with, and then ask yourself, what message is getting through? Want to know where we got our information? Check below for our sources.